match burns, smoke rises, and a date appears, August 8th. No context, no caption, just 7 words from Lewis Hamilton. Most fans thought it was cryptic. Some thought it was poetic. But what if it was something else? Not a retirement, not a brand drop, a warning shot. The timing wasn't random. Hamilton had just endured the worst start to a season in his entire career. 13 races, 0 podiums, 2 Q1 exits at Spa, P16, P18, then a pit lane start and a 7th place finish, behind a Williams. For any other driver, it would be survival mode. But for Lewis Hamilton, it was ignition. Let's be clear, this isn't a retirement teaser. Hamilton's locked in until 2026. This isn't a brand drop. This isn't a PR stunt. This is a signal, a declaration, that something bigger than racing is being built under our noses. And that Lewis Hamilton isn't just challenging Ferrari on track. He's challenging the culture of Ferrari from the inside. The matchbox wasn't just a metaphor. It was a metaphor delivered with venom. Because inside Ferrari, change doesn't happen by suggestion, it happens by force. And Hamilton has been setting fires behind the scenes all year. He's not just driving, he's rewriting the team structure. He's calling meetings with Elkan, Vinya, Vasseur. He's sitting in rooms with 30 engineers and telling them what needs to change. And when they don't move fast enough, he sends documents. You want to know how serious he is? After the first few races, Hamilton wrote an entire technical document listing what was wrong with the SF25. Then, he wrote 2 more during the break, and he's sitting down, face to face, with the heads of aero, suspension, engine, development, telling them, this doesn't work, this needs to go, this needs to be in the 2026 car, this cannot happen again, this is not feedback, this is leadership, and it's not gentle, because here's the truth Ferrari doesn't want to hear. Hamilton is not here to be another Sebastian Vettel, or Alonso, or Raikkonen. He's not here to smile through the chaos and walk away empty-handed. He said it himself. They were champions, but they didn't win with Ferrari, and I refuse for that to be the case with me. That's not a soundbite, that's a promise. And if Ferrari can't meet him at his level, he'll drag them there. Because Hamilton isn't just fighting the stopwatch anymore. He's fighting Ferrari's history. He's fighting bureaucracy. He's fighting the weight of 2 decades of near misses, internal chaos, and cultural stagnation. And the way he sees it, if he doesn't break the machine from within, he becomes part of the failure cycle, and he refuses. Hamilton said it himself, I don't have as much time as Antonelli. It's crunch time. This isn't about patience. This is about urgency. Every lap he drives now carries legacy weight. Every race he finishes outside the podium stretches the gap between myth and reality. He's done waiting, because the smoke isn't from the match. It's from the pressure he's building inside Ferrari. From the uncomfortable meetings, from the documents no one else would dare send, from the systems he's challenging, from the people he's making uncomfortable on purpose. He's showing us that revolution doesn't happen in the media. It happens in engineering rooms, in late-night debriefs, in the tone of your feedback, in how hard you're willing to push. Hamilton knows what people say, that he should have stayed at Mercedes, that Ferrari's broken, that he's too old, that it's too late. But this 8th of August moment is him saying, I didn't come here to ride into the sunset. I came here to light the whole place up. Because no one else on the grid moves like this. No one else drops cryptic posts, writes engineering docs, meets with board members, and still finds time to fight through the rain from the pit lane to P7. Hamilton isn't fading, he's heating up. The match is struck, the smoke is rising, and on August 8th, something's going to burn. It's official. Fred Vasseur is not leaving Ferrari. Not this year, not next year. In fact, he just signed a multi-year extension to stay on as team principal. And now the question is simple. Did Ferrari just secure stability? Or did they double down on unfinished progress? For months, the Italian press has circled Fred Vasseur like sharks. No wins in 2025. Leclerc carrying the podium count. Hamilton still adapting, McLaren running away with the title fight, and yet Ferrari just gave Vasseur more years on the job. This isn't a show of patience, it's a test of conviction. Because you don't back a team principal in July unless you believe he's building something massive for 2026. Or you're too deep in the blueprint to turn back. Vasseur took over in 2023. He inherited chaos, and in 2 seasons, Ferrari has won 6 Grand Prix. but they've still failed to challenge for a title. So why extend him now? Because 2026 is coming. New engines, new aero, a total reset of the competitive order, and Ferrari is desperate not to fall behind in that transition. They've seen what switching leadership too late does. They've lived it, through Binotto, Arriva-Ben, Domenicali. This time they're choosing consistency over panic. Vasseur isn't a showman. He's not Horner. He's not Toto. But don't confuse silence with softness. Since arriving, Fred has reshaped the technical structure, modernized communication inside Maranello, and created a direct pipeline between engineering and racing operations. He's moved power away from political corners and into performance corridors. This isn't the Ferrari of committees and blame. This is the Ferrari of do your job or get out. Here's what no one's saying. Vasseur's extension happens right as Lewis Hamilton begins finding his footing. Coincidence? No chance. Hamilton hasn't landed on the podium yet, but behind the scenes, he's engineering the future. He's meeting with Elkann. He's rewriting technical briefs. He's sending documents about the car's core flaws. And Fred, he's listening. This might be Ferrari's most powerful combo since Schumacher and Todt. One rebuilding the car, the other rebuilding the system. And now, they've got time. Ferrari is still winless in 2025. They're being outdeveloped by McLaren, out-executed by Mercedes, and outdriven, at times, by their own inconsistencies. This extension isn't a celebration, it's a line in the sand. It says, this is the guy. No more excuses, no more resets. He's the one we're backing to lead us through the 2026 revolution. And if he fails, it won't just be Fred who's judged, it'll be the entire structure around him. Vasseur didn't gloat. He didn't flex. His words were clear. This is not just a confirmation, it's a challenge. We've laid strong foundations. Now we must build on them, with consistency and determination. That's not PR, that's pressure, and it's the kind of language you use when you know the clock is ticking. Ferrari isn't playing for 2025 anymore. This is all about 26, the new engine, the new chassis, the new ground rules, and they're building it now, with Vasseur at the wheel. If you swap him out next season, you risk torpedoing everything. If you double down today, you send a message. This is our guy, this is our plan, and we're not blinking. Let's not kid ourselves. If Fred Vasseur wins the 2026 title with Ferrari, he becomes immortal. He becomes the man who broke the drought, the first to take Ferrari back to the top since Jean Todt. But if he doesn't, this extension will be remembered as another failed experiment, another name on a long list of team bosses who almost had it, but couldn't get the job done. The real question is this: can Ferrari, as an organization, stop being reactive long enough to build something sustainable? Can they back Fred Vasseur when the headlines get ugly? Can they protect Hamilton while he transforms their culture from the inside? Can they accept that evolution takes time and greatness requires pain? Because the moment they panic, it all collapses. So Fred Vasseur stays. The strategy is clear. The commitment is public. And now, there are no more excuses. No more give it time. No more wait and see. The foundations are laid. The structure is set. And Ferrari? They've lit the fuse. The only question now, is this the explosion that brings glory, or another spectacular failure written in red? Lewis Hamilton just said it out loud. Ferrari is not at all what I expected, and not in the way you think. Not because the car's slow, not because of the podium drought, but because it's more intense, more passionate, more overwhelming than even he, a 7-time world champion, ever imagined. Let's remember who we're talking about. Most wins in F1 history, most pole positions, most podiums, 7 world championships, all of it achieved with Mercedes. Hamilton didn't just drive for them, he defined them. And now, he's wearing red, looking at the prancing horse, and saying, I still have to pinch myself. I'm driving for Ferrari, but the romantic image, it's only half the story. Because Hamilton says it himself, it's more intense in so many areas. I didn't expect it. I didn't think the team at the factory would be this impressive. Let that sink in. This isn't some rookie discovering the magic of Maranello. This is Lewis Hamilton, a man who's seen the best facilities in the sport, saying Ferrari's intensity caught him off guard. Not because it's chaotic, but because it's alive. Hamilton talks about smiling during a shoot, about staring at the Ferrari badge, about walking around the garage and thinking, wow, It's Ferrari. There's something deeply human about this. Even the greatest still chase wonder. And for Hamilton, wearing red means something spiritual. Because Ferrari isn't just a team, it's mythology, it's emotion, it's identity. And he feels it in every country, every fan, every handshake. But this isn't a fairy tale. Because Hamilton is still without a podium. After 13 races, 0 top 3 finishes. While Charles Leclerc, his own teammate, has 5. This is Hamilton's worst start to any F1 season, ever. And now he's revealing just how difficult the adjustment has been. He's switched performance engineers mid-season. He's had to adapt to a brand new working style, and he's doing it all under a microscope. Let's talk about the engineer change. Hamilton confirmed he brought in someone he knew from Mercedes, but not someone who had ever held this role. Now they're learning together, under pressure, with Ferrari media breathing down their neck, and Lewis doesn't hide the struggle. The changes really caught both of us out. We had to learn super quick. This is raw, this is real, this is not what champions usually reveal mid-season. At Spa, Hamilton starts P16 after 2 Q1 exits, 1 spin, 1 track limits deletion. He starts from the pit lane, in the wet, on a setup he barely understands, and still, he finishes P7, climbing through the field like a man possessed. Strategically flawless, aggressively clean, but the story wasn't his recovery, it was Leclerc's podium. And that's the reality of being Lewis Hamilton at Ferrari. No one wants to hear about your 7th place, not when you're expected to be first. Here's what Hamilton won't say directly, but his words scream it. Ferrari is emotionally overwhelming, structurally inconsistent, and culturally different from anything he's ever known, and he's trying to change it without breaking it. He's challenging decades of inertia. He's rewriting systems. He's doing what Vettel tried, what Alonso begged for, and he's doing it with a stopwatch in his face and no trophies in hand. Because for Hamilton, this isn't about paycheck. It's not legacy padding. It's not romance. It's about rewriting the one story that's haunted every champion who went red. Kimi, Fernando, Seb, they were champions, but they didn't win the title with Ferrari, and I refuse for that to be the case with me. That's his mission. That's the only reason he's here. Hamilton could have retired as the most decorated driver in F1 history. No one would have blamed him. But he chose chaos. He chose challenge. He chose the hardest path possible. And now, he's inside the most emotional team in motorsport, trying to build order, trying to build belief, trying to build a world title out of scar tissue. He said it last week. We've struck the match. Now follow the smoke. Well, now we know what he meant. He wasn't talking about branding. He wasn't teasing a product. He was talking about this, about the fire he's trying to light inside Ferrari, about waking up a sleeping giant, about becoming the first champion since Schumacher to win in red. And if he pulls it off, it won't just be a title. It'll be the most meaningful redemption arc in F1 history.